right, Psalm, this is a replay of one of your matches from week 9. You had already qualified at this point, but why don't you take us through your thought process and how you got from drop to the final circle?
Right, so in solos, there's kind of a couple ways you can approach it. So there's a bunch of different points of interest on the map. You could either fight over like a larger POI and contest for like the big boy loot, but obviously other people are going to be dropping there, so you're going to have to fight them off spawn. So people who drop at these larger POIs like Tilted, Pleasant Paradise, they're very confident in the early game play, so they're looking to get those early game frags and get a bigger piece of the loot. Another style is to land at pretty quiet places. That's more of my style. I land at a pretty quiet place, and you can see like around the map there's like people that single drop in like these kind of random unnamed areas. And I think most people I guess it's kind of split half and half. But so I dropped by Salty Springs on this little mountain. Pretty quiet. Basically, what you want to do is find a spot that caters to your playstyle. I don't really like engaging in early game fights because I feel that a lot of it comes down to just the randomness of the game. Like if your opponent drops early, he lands on like a shotgun and full shield, and you drop on a great pistol and like bandages. You're not back to the lobby. So I find that you're dropping somewhere quiet, looting up a little slower, less loot, but it takes a bit of the randomness out of the game. Basically, the most important thing that I'm looking for is a shotgun, shield, and mobility items. Mobility items are a little bit harder to come by, but the shotgun and the shield are not. See, like my loadout right now, it's not looking the greatest. I'll be honest with you.
That's a pistol,
right here.
Uzi, drum gun,
Yeah,
bandages.
So, I didn't actually expect this guy to contest me this early. I thought it was going to be a pretty uncontested house, but later I find out this guy's full shield and a gold combat, and I have this. And this should have been this should be a free kill for him, to be honest. I should have been sent back to the lobby here. But yeah, my main goal in the early game is to just survive, man. Honestly, it's to survive, try to scrap some loot, and make it to the late game, because late game is where I can make a lot of things happen. One of the problems with dropping in a relatively quiet place like that, and you have to scavenge in different areas for like single chests, a couple chests. Problem with that is because the looting process takes a long time, my farming is also delayed. So later into the mid game, I kind of have to look around for a safe spot for me to farm like the harder mats to find, like brick and metal. This game, I settled in on like a random building at Tilted.
I mean, we're at Tilted right now, and you qualified before Neo Tilted came into the game. How have you adjusted with the new POI?
So I never really messed with Tilted too much in the first place. It's kind of just too dangerous of an area to really venture into, because like at all states of the game, early there's gonna be people there. Mid game, there's people there farming. Even late game, like if the zone ends like relatively anywhere near it, there's gonna be people like taking over all the buildings. The new Tilted is actually good for me because, like I said, I landed a quiet spot, so it's hard to find like the harder mats. And the new Tilted is pretty much all metal.
Wow.
So yeah, it works for me, like another spot I can find my metal at. So zone 3 and zone 4, I try my best to kind of get as center zone as possible. That's one of my focuses. So I try not to take any fights like right before zone 3, because if I'm centralizing in zone 3, you're very likely to get zone 4. So I like to rotate early, make sure I don't get held on my rotation, so that I'm good and set up and I'm safe and I'm based up like this, and I can shoot at other people who are rotating late.
Right.
So zone 3 and 4, it's mainly just me chilling in a base, taking shots at people, trying to get picks with my longer range weapons. So in these later circles, what I'm keeping my eye on is who has to move into the circle. So whoever is on edge zone, like for example right here, I'm like on this border of the circle. I want to be shooting at anyone who's coming in like through here or something.
Okay.
So people who are under the most pressure to be moving from the storm are usually the easiest to pick off. I set up pretty early here so that, you know, we still got, what, 90% of the lobby who has to rotate in. Yeah, so when I'm pushing, so it really depends on the state of the game. If it's early to mid, I'm going to be only pushing when I have a significant advantage. Right? If I get white damage, they have no shield, or if I have like a gold combat, and I know the other guy has like a great tack or something. Or if I have like good utility like stink grenades that are really, really good for closing out fights, that's when I'll push early mid. Late game, you actually, funny thing is late game, you, more than anything, you kind of abuse the fact that if people are distracted, that's kind of when you push. So the audio in Fortnite is not the greatest, nice little rotate there, but so you kind of abuse the fact that people can't really hear when you're, because you think about it, there's like 30 people in these small circles, everyone's shooting their guns, it's really hard to hear. So if you're right behind someone and you're like pickaxing their wall, they're not going to really hear you. Go for this loot. I don't know if this loot was worth it. There's nothing quite like Fortnite endgame. It's just like, it's just full of
blindingly fast.
Crazy fast, you can't miss a shot. You got to cover like every angle, be aware of, everywhere around you. It's really, I get a nice kill on this guy.
Nice.
So I got my health a bit back up. I'm above 20. So right here, if you look at my build for this final circle, this is like a plethora of builds. Like there's so much.
Yeah, you have 366 metal.
Yeah, so what I should be doing is I should be, first of all, swapping to my metal, which has the strongest base HP when it first places and final HP. So right here, I should be building a tarp of 3 wide with floors and cones so that I can get my mini off. So what I know, this guy probably has no mats on the low ground now. I took the high ground for him. So his only real choice is to try to shoot me out and engage in a shotgun, close quarter combat. See right here, I make the mistake. I don't build my tarp wide enough, so and I'm not on metal, so he easily shoots me out. I try to stick the mini because I think I have the time, but I guess I do get it off.
You get it off.
But not in time because he breaks me out and shotguns me. So.
Split-second decisions like that.
Yeah, it really is. Fortnite, it's like a bunch of split-second decisions, and you make the wrong one at any time, you're gone. So.
Well, Psalm, what are the takeaways that you take from watching a replay like this? I know that's a primary thing that people do to get better is to watch their own replays all the time. But when you see this and how well you did, what are you looking to take away? What are you looking to improve?
So in the early to mid game, it's mainly rotational aspects, like which path has the least resistance if I were to rotate? Which timing has the least resistance? What's like the rotation path of the people dropping near me? Like how can I avoid when they're going to rotate and how can I avoid where they're going to rotate? Because that's the big thing. Like early and mid game, it's really hard to close out fights. So taking a engage early to mid if you don't have like a significant advantage almost always actually results in a net loss, even if you kill the guy. So for me, I'm more of a passive player, so I like to avoid early to mid. I just want to make it to the late. So I'm studying mainly rotations. Late game, I'm studying like which angles I should be more aware of. Should I be going up or down in layers? When should I be placing a launch pad? When should I be looking up at height and take height? So late game's a bit more complicated for sure. There's a lot of things that I'm looking at and studying. So
this is pretty good. 7 eliminations, second place finish. That's how many points is that? That's 14, 15?
14 points.
14
points.
points.
14 point game. That's pretty good.
Well, thanks for breaking it down for me.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's much more we can learn.